What's up everybody and welcome to Marufa TV. I go by the name of Natumi and I am super excited to be back just sharing a few opinions, maybe one or two. And today I'm going to be discussing a topic that came to light by none other than the rapper, the OG Mr. Khalighraph Jones. Khalighraph actually explained in a recent interview that the reason why he made a post on Instagram kind of just calling people out on not playing Kenyan music on radio stations, on television, is because he made a trip to Nigeria and he just deeped it. He basically just deeped how, you know, unloving of ourselves we are and how we have lost our way so badly that we need to find it back. In doing so, Tom, Dick, Harry and his friends all collected themselves and decided that they wanted to blame the artist. They wanted to be like, Apana, you guys, you're not producing good videos, you're not producing good music, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, which is just rubbish. Which is just, you cannot be realistic. That one, we just acknowledge it for the sense of debate. We don't acknowledge it for anything else. How can you sit down as a radio presenter and say that because of this and that, and all you want to do is go and talk rubbish about, you know, people who are cheating on, like, basically topics that don't even make sense, topics that do not move people forward, topics that do not as a collective take us anywhere. The truth is, this is a topic that needs to be acknowledged. As a creative in Kenya, wanting to live off your craft, it's not supposed to be toil. It's not supposed to be to the point that you're dying. If it's up to me, this is not a discussion that we should even be having. This is something that should have been done a really long time ago. This is something that should be addressed by law. This is something that we need to put a full stop on it. It's a conversation that, obviously, the fact that Khalighraph Jones has brought it back up to life, it's something that's been, I think this is a kind of like the third wave of this conversation coming about on playing Kenyan music. Just playing it. Just playing it. In most cases, when countries got their independence, we're going to take it right down to history because of the fact that when we complain about things today, there's history in them. There's reasons why things are the way they are. The likes of Nigeria, the likes of Ghana, put it down in their constitution during independence to fund their arts. Kenya never did that. Moving the conversation forward, the Ministry of Sport, Culture and the Arts, the current cabinet secretary is Rashid Mohammed, and I'm quite curious to know, like, okay, cool, how much power, how much input, how much influence, how much say, how do the cabinet secretaries have in the ministries that they've been given? And nobody has really pointed at the cabinet secretary of, you know, the Ministry of Sports, Culture and the Arts. I mean, it means we're not really calling out the right people. We're not really calling out the right people to at least advocate for the things that we need, which is the laws to be implemented. Even now when we're having this conversation, a lot of people are pointing out the DJs who are not, and then the DJs are pointing to the producers. And I don't even know what the producers are doing because by then I was bored. But who are the owners of the station? Who are the regulators of these stations? Who are the people who are making sure that certain things are being done? They're nowhere to be seen. The Minister of Culture, what is it that you are doing in order to make sure that this is something that is highlighted? It shouldn't take for the president to call people, because some people will go, typical African mentality, hey, tutaenda, you go, you state what you want. You're not going to speak collectively for everybody else. This is something that needs to really have a sense of people coming together, people sitting down, people saying that, okay, cool, this is what we need to be able to put in place so it can be easier, it can be regulated, we can make sure that, yes, airplay is there for the artist, and from the airplay that they get their royalties. Even if it's decided that it's a handful of artists who have great production, great music videos, so we'll take those ones and put those artists on rotation. Let it be. Slowly by slowly, other artists will be seeped in. I really do believe, for myself, I believe that it comes down to law. the laws just need to be put down. It needs to be 85%, 90% of local content. This goes down for radio stations, for music, even film. Straight up. It shouldn't be even something that we have a long discussion about. It shouldn't be something that we call our grandparents, hey, tuite uka, ata shosho akuje, anko akuje aseme opinion yake. No, it just needs to be done. It needs to be a simple, plain thing. Because how is it that I can sing a full song in Zulu, I can sing a full song in Igbo, in Yoruba all of us can be able to sing something. Chioma, we've called her name. Even now, we need to be able to call Akothe. We need to be able to call Anjiro. Another thing that I wanted to point out is we don't have a unified sound in Kenya. We don't have a unified genre that speaks to who we are, that goes as a representation. Music is super individualized in Kenya. You hear a little bit of Afro soul. You hear a bit of rap that sounds like trap. You hear you're hearing so many things, you get confused. There's no unified sound. There's no, which is great, which means people are individual, but at the same time I feel like the artist in this era of us having to do all the work, you know, in Yana Vanzan, you gotta do the work. Your homework is for artists to come together and decide what's the unified sound that we have. What's the unified sound that we are pushing forward? If it's, you know, South Africa and house, boom, there we have it. Nigeria, Afrobeat, there we have it. Ghana, it's high life. We know what is it that we're exporting. The same way we know when we export tea, China, Ghana, we need to know what it is that we're exporting when it comes to music. What is it that we're saying? What is our music saying? What is the sound that we're bringing, the vibe? On the issue of Play KE, I believe that this is a conversation that needs to have a definitive solution. It needs to have a definitive point of arrival that says that law will be implemented, measures will be put into place to make sure that the artists are being played, to make sure that people are reaping the best benefits of what it is. And as a country, we're collectively shaping and identifying with who we are and loving ourselves for who we are. That really takes time, but the starting point is where we are right now. Having this conversation and really moving it beyond advocacy on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, putting it in front of the people who make the laws, for the government official bodies to really pin it down and put a percentage down on, you know, radio stations, on television, original content being produced, on film as well, being able to get funding and supporting from that. There has to be a certain way. We cannot admire what people are doing outside, but then we don't want to be able to invest what it is that we need to be able to do. Let's look beyond just a few of the artists. Let's start really uniting and doing more, but at the same time, I don't know who to call, who not to call, but this needs to be pinned down by law. So the cabinet minister, I'm calling upon you to really just push this in the right direction.